Trial and error. They don't tell you that 90% of being a YouTuber is trial and error. Hello and welcome to or back to Miss Crafts' Lair. I am Barbie and I am your resident multi-crafter. This episode is going to be another crafty chat. It has been a hot minute since I did a crafty chat. I looked in my videos and it's been over a month. And so I figured that this was probably a good time to do a crafty chat. However, this leads me to my first topic. So in order to go back to see what I had talked about in my last crafty chat, I had noticed that the audio on my TV to watch my videos, for my videos, was just almost non-existent. Normally, to give you a little bit of a hint, insight here, I can have my TV set to 5 or 10 and I can hear everything just fine. Sometimes I have to get up to 15 if it's somebody who's talking soft in their videos. But I ended up having to push mine up to like 35, 40, and that was not okay. I have been using the volume on my computer and the volume on my phone to judge if my audio is sounding correct. I have not watched any of my videos since I got the new setup for the mic and the cams. Since I got the mic and the cams. So I was getting some messages saying, hey, your audio is kind of off. You know, you might want to fix your audio. But when I was going into my computer and playing it on my phone and on my computer, things from YouTube were sounding okay. Once I went to my TV to watch through the Roku, it was not. So I apologize for that, first off. Second off, I would like to say if you are a YouTube creator or you are wanting to be a YouTube creator, do not let your insecurities be your sabotage. This is why. So I realized on Thursday that my audio levels were kind of junk. Not kind of junk. They were the epitome of junk. And so I was thinking about it and I'm like, what could be the problem? I know that my mics work. Because obviously I can hear my audio. What did I do to screw up my audio? At the same time, OBS, which is my system that I use to do my recording through, that I had an issue with, so I had to troubleshoot some issues with that last night as well. And so I'm thinking, what did I do? Did I mess up a setting somewhere? And I'm probably messing the camera up. I was thinking, did I mess a setting up? What did I do? So this morning, before I started recording this, came down and started messing around, and I was first setting that I did. So I have always been told that I talk really loud, and I'm always talking loud. And people tell me to be quiet because and bring down the levels because I talk so loud. So in my insecurity about talking so loud, I decided that I was going to turn the mic volume down in OBS, thinking that I was going to be saving speakers because I don't want to be the result. I don't want to cause the result of or be the cause of somebody's speakers getting messed up or, being the one that everybody has to turn down. In respect to that, I made myself the kind of person that everybody has to turn up. So I have reset those settings, and if you are watching, what I would have to say is if you are watching this and you are having an issue hearing me still, please, please, if you are commenting about my audio, which is, it is what it is, please tell me what device you are watching on, whether it be a computer or the TV or your phone, so I know which one I need to look at to see where the problem is. Because like I said, playing the video back on my computer or through YouTube on my computer or YouTube on my phone, things were sounding okay. I did notice I had to turn my volume up just a hair, but I have to do that anyway because the speaker's on these two devices. I did not realize that the problem was with watching it on the TV. So, if you are going to be commenting on somebody's audio, please let them know exactly where you're trying to watch it from, so then that way they can address that issue as they see it. I didn't see it on being an issue on my TV because I figured on the phone and on the computer we're going to be fine. So that is my little side note that became the first set. And the reason why I did realize that I had an audio issue was that I wanted to go back in and watch my last Crafty Chat to see what was my work in progress at the time, because I have gotten quite a bit done since then. So let's go on to the finished products, finished projects. So in that last Crafty Chat, I showed off the parts to this sweater. There is only one finished item in this. Everything else has tails. I hate tails. But I think I have come up with a new system as to make it easier to hide the tails. So so this one is done, just the tails. And I actually love the coloring on this. I modeled it after a shirt that I had. This is a drops pattern. Can't remember the name of it, but I will. It will be on one of the sides, and they'll be linked in the description below. Super fun, and it's a V-neck. If you are unable to see that, there we go. It's a V-neck, and the back has the same design on the back as on the front. I loved this pattern, so I love the pattern, but I didn't exactly love the way that the stripes did the V, because in order to do this, I ended up having 2 balls of each color at least. So then that way I did not have to have running threads in my sweater, because that also did not sound very appealing to me. So I proceeded to make a second V-neck sweater, this time using the same pattern, same stitch counting and such, only I did straight lines, straight stripes, instead of the V. So I did that around, and of course this one was a bottom to top, and or at least I did this one bottom to top in the round, and then I added on the sides and the sleeves, so it's minimal sew, because sewing, yeah. So like I said, that was the same pattern as the V design, just so that way I didn't have to mess with all those balls of yarn and such. And yeah, so I think that actually worked out very nice. And I also decided this one is a different pattern. I will share this pattern. This is one from Yarnspirations, and I made a sweater. This is the one that is done. I made this sweater for Easter, wore it to Easter. I'm having an issue. So if anybody who is a fellow knitter crocheter, even though I blocked it, it still is trying to roll. So if there is any insight that you could give me as to how to keep that, like even the bottom hem is still wanting to roll. I don't know if I just didn't block it correctly or for long enough, but it's still wanting to curl on me. Liked this pattern so much that I decided to, with the I love this yarn, I should say too. These two sweaters are used, or are made using the Big Twist Value Plus yarn, Value Pound Plus yarn. Just for the fact that I'm trying to work through all of my acrylic yarn, I want to start bringing in more natural fibers. So that is kind of something that I'm really working hard to do. This is another acrylic yarn. This one is the Premier Bloom in DK. And then this sweater that I made is using the I Love This Cotton. It's a bit heavier than the first, or from the DK, because this is a size 4 yarn for the cotton. But I wanted to make something kind of spring, like more spring, like not more spring colored, because this is already pretty spring colored. But I got that cotton and I wanted to try it in a sweater, and so this was the sweater that won. And I still have to block it, still have to hide tails, but I'm loving how this one came out. Look at how, let's see if I can show you. Look at how those colors worked up. The only thing though is that at the very end of the raglan, I think it is. No, this is not considered raglan. This is a circular yoke. So when I'm finishing up the circular yoke, it did tend to put all of the colors kind of together. So on this side I have the greens and the pinks and the blues, and then on this side I have a lot of the pink and the blue together. That's the only thing that I don't care for, but it's not something that is going to keep me from wearing this sweater because I think it's beautiful. And to round up this whole project's semi-finished projects, I decided to try my hand at some hooded shawls, hooded scarves. So let me take my mic off for a second here. So I tried my hand at some hooded scarves. So this was using some leftover yarn that I had. I think it was Simply Soft and a couple of like retired Red Heart yarns. So this Red Heart yarn does have like, let me, so this one does have some like color changes. I don't know if you can see that very well. It makes it kind of look like it's stained, but it's not, which I wish, looking back, that I had just done the solid baby blue and not the one that looks spotted. But I did that one first. Let me clip back on here. Ow! Clip back on, not fall off. Okay. There we are, situated again. And so then I had to do one in pinks. And so these are discontinued colors by Red Heart. I know that one. Red Heart Baby, I think is what it was called. And I'm pretty sure that it is a discontinued yarn. But I want to say, let me double check because I want to make sure I'm getting this right. Now I'm second guessing myself all over the place. But so these were inspired thanks to Haylie Knight. I saw her. She has a video where she talks about how she changes different shawl patterns into hooded shawls, and had to give that one a try. If y'all notice too, the pattern that I used for the bottom part of the shawl is that Wonderwall shawl by Bag O Day Crochet. So those are the finished projects or semi-finished projects. Now I'm going to talk real quick about the work in progress. Do I carry it around in a duffel bag? Yes, I do, because it's a lot of yarn that I'm moving around. Because once again, this is working off the Big Twist Value Pound Plus. Still working on that same set of colors from the other two sweaters, making another one, added another color. So this is the Drops Valencia sweater pattern using the Lion brand Pound of Love, or not Pound of Love, Lion brand Value Pound Plus. I'm so used to saying Pound of Love in these videos. So I have worked the front and the back, and I am now working on the sleeves. Again, another fun pattern. I particularly like the length of this sweater better than I like the V-neck sweater. Like I said, I can't remember the name of the V-neck sweater. I have shared that in the description below. But this is the Valencia, so I hope to have it done by the end of the weekend. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. The last one I said I wanted to get done on a Tuesday, and I ended up not getting it finished until like the Monday of the next week. So I'm kind of have bad luck with that. Now the final part to this video is the acquisitions. So first off, just before Mother's Day, a new yarn shop opened semi near me. So on Mother's Day, my daughter and I made the trip to a skein away in Rockton, Roscoe, Illinois, and which is kind of funny to me because this is the yarn that I brought home. This is Utopia. BFL BFF. It is 100% blue faced. I'm gonna probably like mess this up. Leicester wool. I did not look up the pronunciation, so if y'all wanna like comment below what the pronunciation for that is, I would greatly appreciate it. What is absolutely kind of funny, this is the colorway Atlantic, and what is absolutely funny and kind of like a tongue-in-cheek kind of joke that I had going on at the point in time was I'm from Wisconsin. I drove to Illinois to buy a yarn that is made in Wisconsin. Viroqua, to be exact. So this one is actually, I'm planning on making a scarf out of this one. I think I should have enough. If not, there's ways to make scarves work if you don't have enough yarn to make, or if you don't know if you have enough yarn to make it. But I am still just going to start off probably like 6 inches, 6 or 8 inches, and then work as much as I can on a scarf for this. Worst case scenario, I can frog it and make a cowl out of it, and that would be epiphany time. Maybe that's what I'll just do. I'll just start off with making a cowl out of this. So I think this is beautiful yarn. I do want to get to their shop sometime. I want to say from me their shop is about 2.5 hours away, which brings me to the next part of my acquisitions, because saying I'm here in Wisconsin, we have the luxury of having Hirschner's retail store in Stevens Point. So I went, grabbed a bestie, and we made the trip up to Stevens Point to their warehouse sale. Super fun. I love I love the trip up there. It's so fun. This time my bestie and I were playing music and turning songs, like parodies, into songs about yarn and knitting and crochet. So that was kind of that was 2.5 hours of fun right there. So acquisitions from there. So the first thing that jumped in my cart was this cotton yarn, and I'm getting the flickers, but this is Baby by Hirschner's Cotton Twist. It is 50% acrylic, 50% cotton. I had said that I didn't want to get anything that was more than 40% acrylic, but this kind of jumped in my cart. It is 1.75 ounces, 50 grams, 180 yards or 165 meters per skein. I got 10 skeins for $10, and that was my first thing that jumped in my cart. Then I came across this Willow Yarns. There's a sticker over it. Denim Grace. Super soft. This one is in the colorway white denim, but super soft. Like I pet this and it had to go in the cart. I ended up getting 4 skeins because I figured that would be enough for at least a sweater if I chose to make a sweater out of it. And then I also grabbed, those were $4 each. And then for $10 each, I got a total of 6 skeins of the Willow Daily. Look at the colors on that. I don't even know if it's showing up right. I didn't even tear into this yet. But look at those colors. There we go. There we go. Sorry for the flicker, but it is what it is when you have all of these overhead lights. The lair is in a basement. That's all I have to say. So those were my acquisitions from Hirschner's. And then when we're driving back home from Hirschner's, we like to stop by at least one local yarn shop. And this time, the winners of seeing our face was in Stoughton. It is a yarn shop, little local yarn shop called Spry Whimsy Fiber Arts. And I was blown away by their store. I definitely want to go back there. Beautiful Baroque yarn, very well curated yarn, I have to say. And it was beautiful in the way that they have it set up. Super easy to shop. Like I said, well stocked, and the workers are so sweet. So from there, I ended up getting 4 of these Cascade Yarns Cherub Aran prints. This one is 55% nylon, 45% acrylic, so it does fit in with my 45% acrylic, not so much the natural. I'm a work in progress. I did want to get 4 skeins of this. So then that way I had almost enough for a sweater or close to it. Because this is 240 yards at 100 grams. So per skein. So I think I might have enough, but then again, I am kind of a chunky butt, so who knows. I also think it would probably, if I had to, I could ring it with a black yarn, and I think it would look perfectly fine for like the ribbings for the sleeves and stuff. And also, if I made it into a tee instead of a long sleeved sweater, also would probably work. So that was from Spry Whimsy, and they have such a cute little icon. He's a little sheep, super cute. And so just when I thought that all of my yarn buying was over, because I really don't need any more, just when I thought all of my yarn buying was over, I got onto Facebook and I realized, or I saw a post saying that a store called Ollie's had yarn in stock, and it's yarn that I've wanted to try, but I wasn't willing to pay like an arm and a leg for it. I did talk my husband into taking me to an Ollie's, and so I got 4 skeins of Bernat blanket ombre in this really pretty, I would call it sunset if I had to name this particular one. And what is it called? Orange Crush ombre. This very much looks like Arizona sunset to me. So I got 4 skeins of it. I'm planning on making a corner to corner crochet blanket with it. And the reason why corner to corner is because of the fact that I'm not sure exactly how far this yarn is going to get me. Let me see here. 100% polyester, 220 yards in 300 grams. So I'm not exactly sure how far it's going to get me. I did get 4 skeins. So my plan is a corner to corner, do work through 2 skeins, and then start the corner to corner the other 2, and hopefully play some yarn chicken and hopefully win and make a blanket of question mark size. So that's going to be another project that's going to be coming up shortly. So yes, so it's been a very fun couple of months. Going back to the original topic of the audio issues, at this point in time I have no plans of fixing the audio for the older videos that are having audio issues, just for the fact that I do have closed captioning on those videos. So I'm not in a big hurry to fix those, if that makes any sense. Like I said, if you are having issues hearing me, let me know. Let me know what in what method you're trying to watch it on, whether it be a computer or TV or phone, and I will try my best to fix those problems, because I feel really bad for my TV watchers. So with that being said, So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, bye!